Producer, I've often told you that you first warned me before you start doing this. I used to like it when I would stand there because then I would know when you're starting. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to yet another episode of the TalkTrack. It's been a Sunday. We missed last Sunday. Why did we miss last Sunday? Oh yeah, that's right. I was not feeling well. Yeah, that's why we missed last Sunday. Maurice sent out a very beautiful message. He was like, our host is not feeling well. Maurice, thank you for that. But now we are back. We're back. All right. Yeah, we are Plot 8B, Gabla Road, unofficial home of the Kara Junkies. Woo, in the absence of Mama Baro today. But now, Maurice, before I say anything else, in our Rolodex, we have men. We should encourage more men to come and talk. Because, I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm not complaining. But yeah, Play A Big Gabla Road, unofficial home of the Car Junkies. This is the bar house where we record our TalkTrack sessions every Sunday from 9 p.m. straight till 10 p.m. You can catch us on our socials at TalkTrack UG. On YouTube, feel free to leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe and follow and all those things that people do these days. But yeah, I'm your host for the evening. My name is Roy, aka Kamada, aka Nofachi Nevensi, aka, yes, of course, Nchawa Giramaniu, aka Consultant. Yeah. AKA Owechigege. I have so many nicknames. Hallelujah. Amen. And TalkTrack is an independent production of the Kara Junkies. It is produced, edited, and sound mixed by Maurice, aka Moro Moro, aka the OG Kara Junkie, aka the father of the Kara bike, aka the only Munyankore Rastafarian. You sold the Kara bike? This is not when you give this info. Why did you sell the Kara? That's a conversation for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't own any of the rights to the music you'll be hearing playing in the background, and all the opinions presented on the TalkTrack are not affiliated or do not represent the opinions or mindset of any entities affiliated with the TalkTrack. That is the Bar House or the Kara Junkies. These are opinions presented from people through their land experiences. However, if you would like to give us feedback, if you'd like to catch up with us, again, check us out on our socials at TalkTrack UG on YouTube. Now, a lot has been going on. Maurice, a lot has been going on. Today, Trump has decided that the United States Navy is going to block the Strait of Hormuz. After 2 weeks of him saying that Iran must open the strait. You see that? He has done that thing of if I can't have you, no one will. No one will. I feel like Trump would be a very petty ex, by the way. Be like, you dumped me, so you're not going to date anyone. You're the guy. That one. Kill him. So, yeah, that's what Trump has done. So, I don't know. And he said, so apparently there were some ships that were being allowed by Iran to go through the Strait of Hormuz, like ships from Pakistan, not necessarily carrying oil, but remember it's a very important trade route. So, like ships that were carrying fertilizer and all that stuff, but to pass through, they had to pay a toll. So now the United States want to fight against that toll, and then they were like, anyone who pays a toll to Iran is now an enemy of the States, but also, if Iran does not comply, then they're going to blow them to hell. That is what he said. He said he will blow them to hell. So fuel prices are not going down anytime soon. If you looked at total fuel prices, and there was 6,030. By the end of this week, we're going to be at 8K. Irish potatoes are going to go to 2.5 a kilo. Soap is about to become 8,000. But we shall be fine. As Ugandans, we can survive as long as alcohol is not tampered with. I'm just saying. So this is disclaimer to the bars. Please do not increase the price of alcohol. You will kill Ugandans. Soda drinkers will be fine. Yeah. Anyway, that being said, there's a lot that's been going on that we can get into, but I'm not going to do that now. Today, I want us to talk about something that, we've glossed over before. We've never really gone into detail. And by the way, we're not debating. We're just presenting opinions. We're not debating. There's no one who is right. There's no one who's wrong. But today, I'd like us to talk about religion. And what got me thinking about religion is Romshanana. Is that the pastor? Is that the new guy who has come through? Isaac Romushanana and his Gospel of Realism, right? And I've watched a couple of his clips on TikTok because we all use TikTok, and I am I don't want to say I'm addicted, but we shall get there. And I've seen some of his clips, and he's appealing to a lot of people who now in this day and age look for or thrive in realism, right? And reality. And there's a clip I watched about him talking about the Catholic Church, which is a little bit refreshing, because which is normally the charismatics and the Catholic Church don't get along at all. Like I've seen that happen a lot of times. And for him to come out and especially talking about the kind of input that Catholics have made in medicine and education, I was like, okay, that is good. No, but of late, and I don't know if it has just happened of late or if it's just a thing that we as Ugandans do, but religion has often been an area of heated discussions, like gender conversations, right? People very rarely see eye to eye on the aspect of religion, and of late it has grown more and more, especially the charismatic aspect of it has grown more and more in the country. We have different fellowships and different groups targeting different niches of people. You have Fanero and the youth. Now you have Isaac and his buddies. I mean, we've had the Kakandes for a while. We've had Mbonye. But then we've also had the Catholic Church then gaining more visibility, and the Anglican Church coming out to do a lot of more big things. And I think religion more now than it was before has become like a front runner in a lot of the things that we do as a country, right? And it got me thinking, I mean, where do we stand on... first of all, I'd just like to ask before I continue. And this is not... I feel like if you don't answer the question, you kind of be answering the question, but I'm not judging. But are we all religious before? And I would like someone to say no, because that's someone I like that perspective is also normally very interesting. But for the people that we have around the table right now, are we all religious? This is like red table talk. Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, who's about to get a divorce from Will Smith? That's also, and then Offset. No, I'm digressing. Are we all religious? Is my question. I define religion. Yeah. Okay. Simply put, yeah, it is conforming to a belief or a higher power, right? It's conforming to a belief or a higher power. That is religion, in my opinion. So, do we all conform? Do we all have that belief in a higher power? It doesn't have to be God per se. It could be science. Science could be your higher power. There's Scientology. There's a church of Scientology. So, yeah. Would you define yourself as religious?
I think from my understanding of how I am, I would say I'm spiritual.
Oh.
Non-religious.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one.
More of spiritually inclined than religious per se, because religion kind of confuses me as well. Okay. Because it has so many connotations to it that at a certain point you don't know what is what. And I feel like sometimes some things that there's a lot that is needed to be called religious.
Like what? In your opinion?
Religion is a very sensitive thing. Uh-huh. It's a very sensitive thing that you don't want to say things that probably will offend a certain religion and whatever. So you have to really be careful on how you spin this.
Yeah.
But I would say, at a certain point, I think I was religious, but I got uncomfortable with it because of the many do's and don'ts that were involved in it.
We have rules and regulations also.
Yeah, because it has a lot of do's and don'ts, and you find yourself getting so the don'ts overpower the do's.
Really?
In
your opinion?
In my experience.
Okay.
Right.
I like how she said mine. I'm not speaking for anyone else. This is me.
Yeah. So if you don't do something, then probably it's like you're betraying that religion.
Yeah.
If you don't do certain things by the book, then probably you feel I'm not doing this right. So it has a certain kind of pressure that you're always thinking, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong?
Yeah.
If I probably sit here, am I, my religious side of the brain will go, I don't think we are supposed to be doing that. So I feel like for me, I'm kind of like more right now getting to the spiritual. I feel like spirituality is a bit more free.
Mm-hmm.
It has a certain kind of freedom that because it's more of you.
Actually, now let me actually now piggyback off what you just said. Like in your experience, in your perspective, how would you differentiate between religion and spirituality?
Religion, in my opinion, is more about the outward. It's spirituality is more of the in you as a person, and I feel you need to first know who you are, understand yourself, then it exudes the spirituality, right? But with religion, most of the time, because you see, like for us in Africa, you're born into that religion. You may not have the opportunity to discover who you are, to actually really understand what this is about. So in simple terms, I would say religion is more outward and spirituality is more of the inward. And I feel it's very important to know yourself first. Then you can, bring forth. But with religion, it's not good to start from outside, bring it inside. It's better to do from inside to bring, for it to come out.
What you would it there? This inside versus I've had. By the way, I have family. Morris, we have family on TalkTrack today. The pressure is a bit there. Today I'm not free. I can't say all the things that I normally say when I'm just with you guys. Because now this one is going to take back reports. Give the grandmother, she'll be like, your grandson. All right, but I mean that was a nice take. Now, Kia. I like ambushing you with questions. From what Millie said, like we started this whole conversation around like religion, and she's brought in the aspect of spirituality. Do you think you can have religion without spirituality or spirituality without religion? Are they in any way mutually exclusive, or do they work hand in hand together?
I'm not sure, honestly, because I religion and spirituality, I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah.
In your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion. My opinion is not sure about that.
But what would you, even if you're not sure, like what would be your take on either of the two? Because Millie says religion is more outward, like you're born into religion, it's something that you take up. Spirituality then comes from you as a person, from an understanding of yourself and what your values are.
I think I agree with what she said. Religion seems to be very rigid, and then when you're spiritual, you discover freedom. Like you're free to actually understand. When you become spiritual, I think you're more interested in what you believe in.
Yeah,
you're actually taking the initiative to understand it from your own perspective, from your own experience. But I think religion is just combined like people's experience. Or whatever someone decided that this is what you should believe in. But when you become spiritual, is now you say, this is what I believe in because of so and so and so. Yeah.
Or this and this and that.
That and this. And
wait,
those.
but let's talk. I like an Arsenal fan. I just want to, because Arsenal fans treat Arsenal like a religion. They pray at the Church of Ateta. Where are they? Ronnie, what's up? Trinity. I'm sorry. I'd forgotten that the Arsenal fans are around. They lost yesterday. If people don't bottle the league, by the way, do not bottle the. Hi, Diana. How are you doing? How much do you believe religion or spirituality? What kind of role do they play in shaping our morals? Do you think our morals can exist outside of religion and spirituality? Are they independent, or do religion and spirituality drive what we describe as our morals and our values?
I'll say I believe in my ancestors. Don't. Yeah. Look, it sounds awkward, but I'm an African.
Yeah.
My other name is Namirembe. That shows a lineage. There's a lineage. there's something I'm maintaining. That's my culture. So I think both religion and culture, both religion and the spiritual shape our morals. Yeah. How? If I'm called, okay, my Christian name is Diana, so that means I'm a Christian. Yeah. I'll pray to God. I'll do all these good. I'll respect the 10 Commandments and everything. But then when it comes to my lineage, Namirembe, yeah, it means peace. So I think both spiritual and what you called it, religion, shape our morals. So if I know my name is Namirembe, I have to pass kindness to others. I have to be empathetic. I have to be compassionate. Yeah.
By the way, and that is something I not actually thought about, like, because we had a religion before what we know as religion now. Like, we existed. There was a time where we prayed to specific gods for specific things, right? And then, of course, over time as history, we all know the history, and then we got colonized, and now we pray to the God, the Lord Almighty, which is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, and like, one thing we have seen over the years is that religion is nuanced and religion can change. Spirituality is also the same, right? Before the Europeans came in, we were a community that, we were a community. We had our beliefs, we had our cultures, we had our morals, we had our religion, we had our spirituality, right? And it was very, very specific in the sense that if I was going for a planting season, I had someone I prayed to. If I wanted kids, I had someone I prayed to. If I felt an earthquake, if I wanted an earthquake to disrupt my ex's wedding, I had someone I prayed to. You know, if I wanted riches, I had someone I prayed to. And that was our way of life for a very long time. And then in like a blink of an eye, that changed, right? And then we had two very, very distinct, or three very distinct religions for a very long period of time. No, we had two, right? We had Christianity, we had Islam, right? And then in Christianity, we had Catholicism, and then we had the Anglicans or the Protestants, and of course, the Muslims who also have their factions. And for a very long time, when you talked about Christianity, you had Catholics and Protestants. And now when you talk about Christianity, we have Seventh-day Adventists, we have Charismatics who also branch. They have like 4 different branches. And so I think over the years, and this is a discussion that I don't think we've had so much, is how much religion has changed and how much religion has shaped what the world is right now. I mean, we have a whole... I don't know if you guys, when you paid attention to the US elections coming in, when Trump was coming in for this term, but religion played a very big role in like the selection of the United States president, right? Like you had the left and the right, and everyone was like, oh my God, you did, and then, oh, you don't believe in God. I'm like, why? Like, it played a very big role. And now more than ever, we're in a period where everything is out there, right? Spirituality and religion have gotten to a point where they have to be marketed, they have to be advertised, right? And so, Jocelyn, this one is for you because you're like a social media expert. But what? How much, in your opinion, do you feel religion has changed, especially religion, spirituality, and that whole thing, that that whole shebang? How do you feel like that has changed, especially with the advent of social media and the internet and all the exposure that we have? And what are some of the things that you have seen that have come out about religion that we never really paid attention to, and how has it shaped how we view that specific aspect of life?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good one, because all of my Instagram reels between the war and then also religion, about how it's been like the Bible and how the Bible was put together, and how we don't actually know a lot of those histories of like how it came together or why some books were chosen versus other ones weren't. And so I think it's like broadened at least my perspective on it, because I've been able to see like the actual history rather than just being told, okay, you believe in the Bible. Like, this is what you should read. This is what you believe every word, And so I think social media has changed it in that way, that we're more open and we can actually get that information. Because within our culture, like with you guys, if you grow up here Muslim, like you're expected to do all these things that are a Muslim. So you're never going to be exposed to other things, most likely. Like you go to a Muslim school, like, or you go to a Catholic school, Christian school. I don't know what you guys call it.
It was Anglican and Catholic, so
yeah, so it's like, and then you're exposed to that only. So if you're never exposed to other things, then you can't really challenge your mind on like why you believe that. And so I think social media has helped a lot in that way. And of course, yeah, the internet, you can also look it up and see like, why is it this way, or who said what, that kind of thing. Because even like, I've learned so much of being here because I grew up in the States and it's all like a Christian background. But even when I look at the difference between what you guys say as Catholic is very different than our Catholic.
yeah.
Like, and so it's confusing. So it's having that exposure that really makes you open up your eyes to see other things and to challenge yourself and challenge other people.
Some people don't like being challenged when it comes. Yeah, but Kia has something to add there.
Yeah, about social media and how it has changed how we view religion. I always stand to that point that history is written by the powerful. Even right now, if we had less Christians, our future kids would read about whatever religion the other guys would be preaching. Because I know we always say African religion, but we don't have material. I say we don't have material. We don't even have the people who experienced that era to tell us what they were praying to, because I haven't seen it practiced anywhere. Like even in the villages, they are all Christians. Even the old people are Christians. So when people talk about even the influencers, I haven't seen an influencer like embracing our religion as Africans, what we had before. It's like a distant memory, like we just keep referencing it. Like, oh, our ancestors had their religion, but we really don't have. And I'm sure like even the people who are still practicing it, they are being labeled maybe evil. Even you find maybe like our tribal marks that meant something good is being painted in a different one, in a different light. So we don't know, like it's very confusing. And I think the powerful will always write the history because anyone will decide. If even me, if I became president, I think I would paint a certain picture, erase some things. So many things are erased about our history. So I think that's why so many, like we don't have an identity. We have this new identity. We try to hold on to some identity we don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah. Speaking of identities, you are taking on this one. Hey, let's come. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing? Now, I like because, and you have brought in a very interesting point. Religion and identity, spirituality and identity. I think we had a discussion one time on the TalkTrack where we talked about identity crisis, right? Where it came to a point where when we, at the end of the discussion, we found that a lot of us tie our person to a certain thing. Could be work, it could be religion, it could even be the team you support. Like your identity is tied to a certain thing. And for a very long time, and I like that Kia has brought it up, we had an identity that we don't have sufficient knowledge and sufficient history on, right? And over the years, we have then been given this identity that we've sort of like grown to kind of like accept and just be okay with as the status quo, yeah? As our day-to-day. You're either Christian or you're Muslim, right? You're not, if you go back to the judges, or Musamize. Now, that's crazy. But it brings in the aspects of community, because communities are built by identity. How big of a role do you think religion and or spirituality has played in shaping communities as we know them now? As you're thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen, the TalkTrack is sponsored by Unlabeled Drinking Water. Mama Water is not around today, but she's the one who normally do that. But yes, like community, how do you feel like religion or spirituality has shaped community as we know it now? Do you think it has played a really big role, or do you think community just exists as it is because of other things outside of religion and spirituality?
I think, what should I say? I believe religion and spirituality are both contributing to today's community. Like of late, we've just winded up like the fasting season and everything. But according to me, this person who would say, someone comes to me and asks me, Lynette, are you fasting? And I'm like, wow, why do I need to show you that I'm fasting? Because why would I spend the whole day fasting, yet the inside of me has not changed? Because I believe like fasting should be more about you changing your behavior, how you behave yourself, how you take yourself, how you treat other people. But then people like mistake it and they think that fasting should be centered around only spending the whole day without meals. For sure. Yeah. Someone can spend the whole day like without having any meal, and then they're like, yes, I'm fasting. But when you look at their actions, they have not literally changed. They're still the same people. So
oh yeah, you see, that's religion. That's because religion says you must fast, so
yeah.
you fast.
So I
Right?
think,
You don't understand it, but you're just doing it. Yeah.
and I believe in today's community, people are not following the religion like how it used to be back then.
Yeah.
Today, people are doing it because it is what you're supposed to go with. Like, yeah, you found it there, you have to follow on your ancestors doing that, following the same thing. But to me, I believe like spirituality matters more. I believe being spiritually healthy. Should I say healthy? Is it right?
Yes, that is okay. Spiritually healthy. You are not spiritually malnourished.
Yeah, that is what I mean. Yeah, I think have I answered your question?
Yeah, Kia wants to add. She's been burning. Yeah, but no, but thank you for that. Yeah.
I'm not banning. Even I've lost my point, but there's something she's saying.
Yeah.
I think right now we practice more of religion. Me, I'm a practicing Christian.
Yeah.
Actually, do love Christianity, do love Jesus and everything. But yeah, so like I'm not very conversant with the other religions because I focus on Christianity. And then we say, for us as Christians, we say like our what is it called? The doctrine.
Yeah.
The doctrine is the Jesus doctrine. Like we are following the guy Jesus. We are trying to be like him, the life he lived and everything. He was such like, if you read like his story and everything, what he did, he was a cool guy. You get
He was a hardy guy. You know what it means to walk on water?
Yeah, like he was a cool guy, like very nice. I'm sure if he lived in this generation, everyone would want to be his friend. But then we come and bring religion. So I think we made it like a cult or something where like, okay, where we say we're all Christians. So why am I not talking to the other Christian just because they pray from another church? What is that? Isn't that religion? Aren't we all practicing the same thing? Aren't we all praying to the same guy? Aren't we all like following the Jesus gospel? So I think like religion has affected society in so many ways. And that's why we find like in every denomination, is it called denomination? Like Christians, if you see their lives and even influence on the world, even on the politics and everything, there's a group that has more influence on the world, and then there's one that has no power at all. So I think we like we are more religious right now. Even back then, I think things were even worse then, Because if you see like all the things the Catholic did to get their money, and that's why they have more power right now. And then we have the Anglicans that still broke away from the
Catholics.
To form their own thing, and then they also have their own issues. And then we have the Pentecostals.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came from, but yeah. So like we are so religious that it doesn't make sense at some time. Like, why are you preaching love yet you're so hateful? Like, society has been divided so much, even families. It was easier when families, like, let's say we're all just Anglicans and we're going to the same church every Sunday, coming back home together. But right now you find we have the freedom, which is a good thing, where people are saying they are more spiritual right now, but it brings division. And I stand on the point that if I don't believe in what you believe, I'm not your enemy. We just have different opinions. But people have taken it so much, like if I'm like, okay, you're inviting me to church, I don't want to come. I also have my church I go to. Why should you see me as an enemy? So I think like it has brought so much division where some people are more spiritual, I think, than the others. So they're like on top here. So me, I see division.
I think what you asked about community, as you were speaking, something came to my mind that about communities, we are religious because we want to be accepted by our community and our people. You understand? Because if people know, oh, Minnie goes to church, there's a certain respect that comes to it. So, oh, that family is religious. You see, even in Anglican churches, they have certain families. Certain families have a specific benches, especially with the more dominant Catholic and the Protestant churches. So, with community, if they probably know, Oyotasava, they kind of brand you as though you're not well brought up, right? So there's great judgment as well. What she was talking about, like there's great judgment for people who probably don't have, our parents keep telling us, they have someone that they knock for church and they pray for you. Because if you don't have where you are specifically identifying yourself, then of course your parents worry that where are we going to take you? Where are we going to take you?
Church wedding.
So I think with community, sometimes we are inclined to be religious because we want the acceptance of our community and our families and the people around us. So if you tell your parent, I'm not going to church for 2 weeks,
you're fighting demons you don't know.
So yeah.
Then I have something to say.
Sorry. Thank you. When Millie mentioned about the identity to be identified in community, I also remembered something. Yeah, you look at the Rastafarians. Yeah, there is a symbol, dreadlocks. Yeah. Though it's not my hair, still, they'll add that kink. I'll feel like, I'm a Rastafarian because of the dreadlocks, yeah? I've also seen there's an MP, there's a member of parliament. I've forgotten his name, but there's a member of parliament who, for him, when he's swearing, when he's taking those, I don't know what the oath, it's through the Rastafarian. I don't know, I've forgotten his name. I think he's the member of parliament of Budiope. No, here in Uganda. Yeah, he's there. He wears a white suit and that scarf of the Rastafarians. Yeah, so all those things. So you also look at the Nyege Nyege festival. Ideally, the people there, most of them are dreadlocks, and so sense of identity, belonging. Yeah.
Which brings me to my next question. Okay, eliminate religion, eliminate spirituality from all this. Can someone live a meaningful, a fulfilling life without religion, without spirituality? Especially now that we know it, there is a big role it plays in a sense of belonging, in a sense of community. Can you live a meaningful life without adhering to the rules of Kia? Just call it a social club. Adhering to the rules of the social club that is religion.
Absolutely. I believe that when we are born, I believe that we are born, in us, there is definitely a right and wrong instinct. Even before they've told you this is wrong, this is right, there is something naturally that you can know this is wrong, this is right. So I believe absolutely you can live a very, what did you say? Meaningful life without the connotation of religion and the spirituality. I think for me, from trying to understand, I've taken time to really, and I'm glad you're talking about religion because it's something that I am really questioning a lot lately, because I've grown up in quite a religious, people who know me know that I have been in church most of my life, and I probably don't know a life outside church. But I am taking time to really understand. She talked about questioning. There are things we need to get to a point where you have to question, right? But I believe I've seen people who are kind and good, but they are not affiliated to religion, or maybe they could be spiritual, but they won't. Maybe I may not know. They're what they believe in. I've also seen the other side of church or religion, that someone can be in religion but terrible person, and still they may not even have a meaningful life. Probably also don't understand what they're actually doing, because as we are saying that I'm born to be my parents are Anglican, so naturally I'm going to be an Anglican. I'm baptized as an Anglican. I don't understand what this thing is about. Of course, as I go to school, it is pounded in me to follow this and understand that. But I think you need to get to a place where you understand things by yourself. It's easy to hold on to when you understand it from a personal place. So I think, as I talked about, if you get something from inward, it is easier to preserve, because they're doing it from a place of understanding, right? So I really believe it's very possible to live a meaningful life without really affiliating yourself to a specific religion. Absolutely.
Marcy, here, what's playing in the background? Oh, it's a nice instrumental, but we shall talk about it later. When I asked the question, I saw Diana going like this. Diana, you have a differing opinion? You did not have a differing. You first went like, it felt like you were going, can you live without religion? And what? No. There is a quote I saw one time, and this is again, that was someone's perspective, but the quote was, some of the nicest people you will meet in life are covered in tattoos, and some of the most evil people you will meet spend their time in church, right? And I was like, whoever hurt you. Yeah, but it does paint, like, to your point, it does paint that picture of, we are all religious in some way, shape, or form, right? We are born, unless otherwise, we are born into religion in some way, shape, or form. And then over time, and I think it's more common now than it was back in the day, over time, you then get to decide, is this the path I really still want to take, or is it something, is there a path I can trudge for myself, right?
I have something to say.
Yes, please, go ahead.
About what you have said.
About the quote?
Disclaimer. Today Trump called Candice and her people stupid.
Yeah.
So I think she compared American politics to gladiator movies where the kings and emperors would love to watch the gladiators fight to death until the gladiators actually questioned the status quo. I think why I've always believed we approach religion with so much high expectation, and we approach the other side we are so lenient.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean like church people are very horrible. They are also just human beings. No. But we just have a lot of expectations from them. But horrible people are everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's
They're just everywhere. We notice the ones in church because we have an image of what the church should represent. And we should, but they are also just human beings that have gone there just like you, seeking something. So, like, if you're going to hold the church accountable, I think you should hold what the doctrine believes in, not another person that maybe has gone there for the first time.
What about if they've been there consistently and have never changed?
Pardon?
What if they've been there consistently? They go every Sunday, they sit at the front, they give the biggest offertory.
This is my opinion. That's why I said disclaimer. I think let's stop holding. Anyway, I still wait. We hold them at such a high thing because, of course, there's that saying that to him who much is given, much is expected. That's why we hold billionaires accountable. We be like, oh, they don't help the world for you. Are you helping the world? It's because you see them with a lot of money. Exactly. That's why we should approach these things the same way. Because if you're not helping your people with the little you have, why are you putting so much pressure on the billionaire? If I want to buy a private jet and fly, I don't care about the other people. So I think we should hold ourselves accountable to the same way we hold other people accountable.
All right, yeah.
Okay. As I said, I have been in church. I understand church politics. I've been in church a long time. But as I said, sometimes church and religion is a facade, right? It's a cloak people wear.
Money laundering.
It's a cloak people wear. My husband once said, some people, because now religion is kind of like religion church, mostly religion church, because that's what I understand less of the mosque. Someone wears religion. I can wear the cloak of religion probably on Sunday and take it off on Monday up to probably Saturday. It is something people just wear. Probably that is why you're getting to a point where we have to excuse, like, we are all human, because we cannot probably live to the standard that religion is telling us to be. That's why I started saying that the don'ts are quite many, that it's very hard for someone to probably live up to that standard. You understand? So people cannot come out and say, we cannot do this, actually. So they keep there, but they know we cannot hold the standard. The standard is quite high. But the standard is high, but we know, because you're saying we are human, we cannot make the standard. That is why most of us are falling short. Because the expectations are quite many and the burden is heavy. That is why people are kind of thinking, but wait a minute, is this really it? You know, and I feel like we are not really honest with ourselves to say this thing is probably not working. Yeah? Because it is the don'ts are quite many. I've been to a place where you go to church and thinking, you know, because for us, like in church, you have the elders, there are people you cannot even say hello to, because you're thinking probably they are probably high and mighty up there, right? So it is the standard we have created, but we cannot make the standard. It is us, because religion is created by humans, right? Human beings created religion, but the standard is quite high that us who created it cannot measure up to that standard. And then we are complaining and saying, but we cannot make the standard. We are human beings. That means something has to change. Something has to change.
Hallelujah. Please go ahead. I'm enjoying this.
Disclaimer, I'm not saying this to disagree or anything. I'm just saying what I believe in. For me, as a Christian, we believe in Jesus Christ as the patron, just as the Muslims do believe in Muhammad. And these people are painted as perfect human beings. Okay, no, perfect beings, which is unattainable. It is unattainable in a way that the word always tells us His graces are renewed every morning, because we are human. We shall never attain that. We all fall short at all times. So that's why, because the guy is preaching this Jesus to you, you expect him to be like Jesus, which is unattainable. Jesus is the standard, and we are just human beings who fall short every day. And that's why they keep telling us his graces are renewed every time. We offend people all the time. We do funny things, but doesn't make us less of Christians. Yeah, to me, that's what I believe. So, like, there's a standard which is unattainable because we are not gods. And even that's why people get offended when people call themselves Jesus. There's a Jesus in Western Kagadi.
Yeah.
There's a whole religion there where they have their own Jesus, and people are against it because they have a standard of who they follow in Christianity.
Yeah.
So Jesus is unattainable because we are not gods, we are humans, we are at another level. That's why they give us that grace, they forgive us all the time. I think that's why we celebrate Easter every year. Yeah, that's what I believe in.
I think maybe we're probably not understanding each other. I think for me, as I said, we accept that we cannot make a standard. The fact is we cannot make a standard, right? But then also what the church preaches or religion preaches, it wants you to get to a certain perfection. You understand? Because the Bible says you cannot, if you sin today, you done the same sin, you cannot do the same sin tomorrow and then be saying, I repent. Because repentance means I forsake what I did yesterday and I have to be better. But remember, you're human, tomorrow you're going to be human until you die. But then again, but then the religion will still preach you have to attain a certain perfection. But then it's saying the grace is sufficient. So there's a contradiction there. And there is confusion there because you're supposed to attain a perfection, but they're preaching the perfection you cannot attain. Right? You have to have a certain perfection, but then you're human, you cannot attain the perfection, right? And you have to consistently make yourself perfect or appear perfect.
Yeah.
That is why people have to appear perfect. Because the religion is preaching perfection, but they know I cannot attain the perfection. So that's why you see in religion, there are so many people who are there. They are putting on a show. They are putting on a cloak. The fact is in your heart, I cannot do this thing. And I feel like there are so many people who are in religion. There are so many things they want to do. I'm not saying it's bad to be restricted, but there's a lot of restriction. And you kind of like live your life every moment of, am I doing the right thing? You're always questioning yourself. So am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing?
Is it safe to say that when it comes to conforming to religion, conforming to spirituality, is there an element of pressure that it puts on people, especially to live a certain way or attain a certain standard of living to be, well, let's say critically accepted as religious? And be it in Christianity, I know all of us here are practicing Christians, I hope. And so I wish we had the point of view of a Muslim, because Muslims live a very, very different life in terms of religion and spirituality as opposed to us. Theirs is a little bit more strict, a little bit more you walk a very straight line and a very straight path for some of the Muslims that at least that I've interacted with and I've talked with, especially the very staunch ones, right? I feel like as Christians we have a little bit of leeway. Hey, the Bible says don't get drunk, but then we take that overboard. then on Monday evening we're going, my head is paining, I will never do this again. No, anyway, but that notwithstanding, are we acknowledging that there's even in terms of building a community and building societies, are we saying that there is pressures that are brought on by religion or by conforming to religion?
Yes. like 1,000%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like growing up for us, it was like expected, like you were just supposed to be a Christian. And so you're expected to do all these things, like not have sex before marriage and not drink and like not smoke and those things that were just like already put there. But I think the problem that we have is that we think some sins are more than others. And so like we think, oh, because that person gets drunk, they're worse than me, so I'm fine, you know? And so we don't look at it like our own sin, and that's where it becomes a problem, is that we have all of these expectations of other people, but not of ourselves a lot of times. And so what I wanted to comment on earlier was that my issue, like why you said that quote, because I'm definitely one that posted that, but it's because, yeah, I was. So, because it goes back to, okay, you have these people who are expecting this of other people. Like the people that I know that are atheists are not expecting me to follow that line of not, drinking or whatever. But those people that are in leadership of church, they're expecting that of other people and judging them rather than like looking at themselves. And I think that's where it falls into an issue. And that's where we want to conform because we want to look like, okay, this person will accept me. They're not judging me all the time. And so, yeah.
There's something I wanted to say.
Diana was like, no. Yeah.
It's also about, I love the idea of free will. Because I want to give an example of feminism happening right now, where they are painting marriage as oppression. But there are people who actually sincerely enjoy marriage. So I think the issue is looking at someone else's freedom as oppression. That's why I do believe in the idea of us actually looking at our own selves and having free will to choose what we want. Because if someone is not going to associate with me because I say I'm a Christian, but I'm here, it's free will. It's how you decide to practice this spirituality that you have decided. Because there are times where people do enjoy what they're actually doing. There are people in churches who are enjoying those things. And because you had a different experience, you think everyone is having the same experience. So there's a lot of projection, which I'm not saying that people don't face different sides, but it's two sides of a coin. Someone might be enjoying that, someone might not be enjoying it. So that's why I think we should take time to learn yourself, to also learn what you're believing in. Like, don't just take religion as
bread and butter. the bread and butter of life.
But my question comes in, like, are we religious so we look like the ideal person? Like we get acceptance? Or do we actually believe in all those things?
I think it's like, so simple answer would be, we do believe those things. I think that would be like the simple answer. Okay, I believe.
But I don't think we agree with everything.
No, we know, and it's impossible. Like, yeah. I feel like religion in a way is like a policy, right? This is how you live life, right? But as anyone who is an expert in policy writing will tell you, there is no policy that caters for every eventuality, right? There is no policy that caters for every eventuality. And I think it's the same thing with religion. I've always thought of religion as like more of a guiding light than anything else, right? There are certain doctrines by which you live. There are certain doctrines by which you operate. There are certain doctrines that sort of form a foundation of your moral compass, right? And unfortunately for us, a lot of these come from religion. Like, for example, look at the 10 Commandments and how the 10 Commandments shape how Christians think, right? Respect your father and mother. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's property. The number of people who have coveted people's wives. If the concept of hell was based solely on the 10 Commandments, coveting your neighbor's partner. Anyway, but I feel like It's more of a guiding light than anything. And of course, you can't agree with everything. Like there is certain aspects of religion. Even I sit down and I go, okay, what the, like, what's that? Like, look at this. And again, it's not me speaking down on any religion or anything like that, right? But the aspect of Sharia law, I don't know if it was which country in the Middle East where girls at this point are not allowed to go to school, right? Because apparently they're grooming. Yeah, I don't know if it's not Pakistan. Pakistan is actually
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Yeah, it should be
think.
Afghanistan. And there is that. And then they're still stoning women for doing certain things. Like, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I do appreciate religion, but I am not going to agree with that, right? Even in Christianity, like, there are certain things that even I go, I will be civil. You have lied, and that's why we're not going to conform. So, as a guiding light, yes. Do we agree with everything? No. And I feel like getting to that point where, and I think that's what Millie was also saying, like, and this is also something you're talking about, like, understanding what it is you value, what it is you find important, and then translating that to religion, I think helps a lot. Because religion as it is a very, very contradictory, very, very political, very, nuanced aspect that if we just sat down and said, okay, this is right, this is wrong based on religion, I feel like very few people would actually live life.
I think for me, my most disappointing example that happened recently with religion was during the war, Israel and Palestine, where someone was just like, oh, I'm supporting Israel because they are Christians. What do you mean? Like, they're killing people.
Exactly,
like they're bombing cities. What do you
Hospitals,
mean?
like targeting hospitals, and you're like...
And because, and it's said from an ignorant point of view where you just read the word Israel in the Bible, now you think Israel that is described. Because, like, now you see the population, they don't even believe in Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
So, like, religion is a mask. It's so political. Like, they control so much of the things that happen.
Yeah.
So if you also go there and you pick the mask at the door and you enter, I think you will just be disappointed.
If you pick the mask at the door.
Yeah, like
Oh
you'll
my
be
God.
disappointed. I think it's, as I said, it's like a social club.
Yeah.
It's a social club because everywhere, even people who are not religious, they have their strict laws in their clubs where they go.
Yeah.
So if you enter with that mask that everyone is putting on, you will think some things are right and some things are wrong.
Yeah.
That's why we say people, we like comparing so much, like with the bar people and the church people.
Yeah. There is a book I'll recommend for you guys. I'll share it on the TalkTrack group. But in terms of like comparison, it gets into detail of why we as human beings like thrive on comparison. Yeah, like the difference between absoluteness and relativity. Like human beings find it difficult to live in an absolute world. Relativity is just easier. Like, and that is taken advantage of a lot in marketing. But producer has told me we're almost out of time. Mubufunze generally. Don't be Vasamis. No, but I think from our discussion we've seen that it's more than just belonging. It's more than just conforming. I think one thing that we take for granted is an understanding of what religion really is. And also, more than that, an understanding of who we are before we even get into religion. And I feel like, especially in the African context, we're not really given that opportunity to discover for ourselves what our beliefs and what our spirituality is. Like Millie said, and you guys have all pointed out, you're born, and on your birth certificate, they will ask your father, what are you? I'm a Roman Catholic. This child is a Catholic. Right? And so you grow up in the doctrine of Catholicism, and you've never given the chance to even, and the moment you ask, oh, but why does this priest do this? How dare you? Or why does the pastor do this? How dare you? And so I think we are stifled so much, and I can say this from an informed point of view. I went to Catholic school for 11 years. No, Catholics, 11 years. Five in primary, 6 in high school. And no, it's a very beautiful experience. But one thing I can tell you about was, I remember we had the chaplain who did not allow us to sing certain songs in church because the songs, and I kid you not, the songs were not Catholic enough. Yeah. like praise and worship, and you're engaging and you want to dance. They'll be like, Modoko, I saw you dancing, you come, we'll have a discussion later. I was like, what is this? Like, how do you stifle how I decide to praise? Right? And like for me, so from an informed point of view, I think when it comes to religion, I think we all of us need an opportunity to either discover or rediscover what we agree and not agree with in terms of who we are as people when it comes to religion. Jocelyn, you want to close us up?
Yeah, I want to say that's, for me, like I always say I'm not religious, or I won't even say it nowadays, like I'm even a Christian. Like instead, it's I have a relationship with Jesus. And that's like how it works. Because growing up, it was like, okay, this is right, this is wrong, you follow this, if not, you go to hell. And it was always about that. Yeah, And so I was very like against it. And then I actually found like a relationship with Jesus, and I was like, okay, this is not what religion is, in my opinion. So I think we really have to go back to spirituality versus like religion, and finding ourselves in that rather than just picking a religion because we grew up with it, or even if we want to go into that religion, because we're never going to agree with everything. But as long as we feel right with God or with Allah, whoever you want to pray to, I think that's what we have to go with.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining me and Maurice tonight. I don't know if we'll ever come back to this topic, but I think we should. And Millie, we shall invite you again because you have so many ideas. Hi, yeah. You wait for Rowena. The day Rowena is here and you talk about African, that would be lovely. Yeah. You want to write African history?
What she talked about African belief. I don't want to call it religion.
Oh, not being documented.
Yes,
yeah,
it's not been documented, and maybe that is why it is not so much taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Right? Because you talked about like our African beliefs have been shunned and said they are evil. They are not right.
That is what they call people who practice African tradition.
So you see, even when like for us who have dreadlocks, we are kind of like, why do you have dreadlocks?
Yeah.
There's a certain kind of, there's a certain kind of questioning to it, right? But I think what you talked about in the beginning, that if we have a start of where we can document African belief, and then we understand, what are the meaning of our names, what's your name, when we practice this, if you talked about seasons of planting, what was the African way of doing that. I think it's very important if we can think about, as Africans and Black people, to have these things written down and documented.
Producer Chiwuli Dej, as the only Munyangole Rastafarian, you must do that. All right. Okay. You're going to close us out, actually.
Sorry, Maurice.
You're going to close us out.
I just want to add to something she said. I think as we have that album, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill, yeah.
I think we have also the miseducation of the African child. I think we need to be like educated on so many things, even just starting from our hair. Like we need to be educated. And also I just wanted to say, we're now adults. Be unapologetic about who you are. Choose a path. And I keep saying, me as an adult, I have no reason to lie because you're not going to beat me. You're not going to beat me. So, if I go at home and say, you guys, me, I'm a Muslim now, I'm sure they're not going to beat me. They'll be disappointed because, that's the best they can do. So you need to choose a path and own it. Don't be shaky because you met other people who believe in other things. Don't shake.
Don't shake. Big gumite.
Yeah,
be solid.
Big gumite.
Big gumite. All right. Thank you guys so much. Moro, haven't we done a good job today? Can we close it out? Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all next Sunday. Thank you so much. I'm your host. My name is Roy. Maurice, thank you so much for doing the camera work. We'll see you all next Sunday. Peace out. He's going to take us photos, obviously. Are you still recording me saying this?